If we look at the history of medicine have always had beliefs, and that these beliefs govern physician behavior. It was in 1840s, that's just 150 years ago, that Semmelweis discovered that washing your hands could likely prevent puerperal fever, which was infection causing a 20 to 30% death rate in women. And so all he wanted to do was to get his colleagues to wash their hands before they made a delivery. People don't realize, but at that time when women died in the upper echelon hospitals, they were taken down into the basement. They always underwent an autopsy. And Dr. Semmelweis was down there with his chief undergoing and helping with an autopsy of a woman who just died. And they found the same thing, a lot of infection, which they didn't know was infection, around the tubes and the ovaries and the uterus. And the doctor cut his finger. They didn't wear gloves during the autopsy. And the doctor cut his finger. 6 days later, he came down with all the symptoms of puerperal fever. We're transferring the disease. Then they would go from the autopsy room to the delivery room without washing their hands. And they'd have all this stuff all over their hands. And they'd deliver babies and spread the disease. All Semmelweis wanted them to do was wash their hands. Now, to show you the problem we have with current day paradigm of cancer, there was no money involved in hand washing versus non-hand washing. This was just the paradigm and the belief system, so ingrained in physicians that it was heretical for anyone to challenge what they thought to be right. Today, we have the same kind of commitment to belief, but we have a $1 trillion business built on those beliefs. So, if we think Semmelweis had a problem, and by the way, he died in an insane asylum. They kicked him out of the profession and he died in an insane asylum. Look at the problems that face Brzezinski or anybody else. It really does change the paradigm. 200 or 300 years from now, we're going to be looking back at this decade with far more horror than we're going to look back at what Semmelweis went through. As we look at that experience and we say, oh my goodness, how could they possibly have been so stupid? Stupidity has nothing to do with it. We are doing things far worse than that. And when they look back at us and go, oh gosh, how could they have been so stupid? But again, stupidity has nothing to do with it. It's the belief systems of the time. And the problem that we all face is that the belief systems in treatment of cancer is strengthened by all of the money that we throw into that particular pot. A lot of people think that, gosh, if just the government, if just the congressmen and senators knew about this, they would rise up, they would institute favorable atmosphere for Brzezinski, this discovery would flourish. Let's just educate them. They are part of the problem. They are just as much a part of the problem as the belief systems and the economics of all of the cancer treatments, because all of the cancer treatments control what the Congress does. There will be individuals who will speak up, but nothing's changed, and nothing will change. The only thing that will liberate Brzezinski from a governmental fashion is to eliminate this incredible barrier to treatment of cancer. It's the liberation of physicians that the government could do, but they won't. Because when physicians are liberated, then all kinds of innovations can spring forth. And then these innovations, all of a sudden, the public realize, wait a minute, I've seen these natural therapies for heart disease. I'd rather do that than bypass. Or I've seen, oh my gosh, maybe I don't need to take all these diabetic drugs. Goodness gracious, you know, with the chemotherapy and radiation therapy that I have, God, I'll go to Brzezinski. You eliminate that. You simply have freedom in supposedly a free country, and then you take away all of the problems.